but they don't belong in the newsroom.
Just in, scientists discovered that Canadian bacon is actually ordinary ham.
This made a lot of people very angry and has been widely regarded as a bad movie.
Miserable bloody Romans, no sense of humour.
With what Dr. Ashland just said, do you concur?
Don't talk to it, Mary. Don't encourage it.
We're just like Kevin Bacon.
The only thing that will redeem mankind is cooperation. I think we can all appreciate the relevance of that now.
Welcome back to the Hollywood Thumb, a short-form movie news podcast brought to you by the parent podcast, It's Just Two Movies. My name is Daniel King.
Alicia.
And we're going to do it. The news. We're going to do the news. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman announced that Jackman will be returning in Deadpool 3, reprising his role as Wolverine. And that this film will be, in fact, MCU canon. So, there's a lot of Marvel news. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. But what I would like to know is, how do you think they're going to make it, canon in the MCU? Like, when and where is this ever going to take place?
In a bar. Yeah.
Maybe after.
In a bar where he's been drinking because he just
probably
that's what he does.
I wonder if it's going to be like after First Class and Age of Apocalypse, after all of that, but before Logan, in that in that gap.
Logan, he actually, it's his demise or whatever.
Yeah, and that'll make it MCU canon. And then at that point, after that movie, even if Jackman never returns as Wolverine,
he don't have to.
Now Deadpool exists in the MCU.
Right, and then he doesn't have to return either. Right, he's done.
Yeah,
but
you think Colossus will be in the third one?
I hope so. I love him.
Me too. Yeah, he's hilarious.
He is hilarious. He's by the book, but he's hilarious.
You know who else is hilarious and by the book? Fucking Don Cheadle as James Rhodes. I know that you know, because you and I have talked about it, that Armor Wars was a series that was going to be coming out on Disney Plus sometime next year, I think. They have changed that from being a series, and now it's going to be a full-length feature film. So Armor Wars is going to be a movie in the MCU now.
Well, he deserves his own movie.
Don Cheadle. I fucking love Don Cheadle.
I do too.
I think he's fantastic.
His character's evolved so much. And
he's good as Rhodey too. He's relatable. Because when he's like, wait, you saying we could do time travel? Why don't we just go back in time and find baby Thanos and choke the life out of him?
Right.
Just garrot him, yeah.
Be done with it. But, it'll be good. He's good in it.
I'm excited. I'm really excited about that because I think they're going to wind up. This is pure speculation, but I think they're going to bring back Sam Rockwell's character from Iron Man 2, where he's like trying to undercut Tony Stark as a weapons manufacturer. Weird. Yeah, and that's going to be the
Tony's
Armor War is his company because Tony's dead now. I think that'll be I think that's going to be fucking cool.
Well, and Sam Rockwell's amazing.
How stoked would you be to see Sam Rockwell again in the MCU? A huge Sam Rockwell fan.
He would bring good vibes to it, regardless if they're
right. Speaking of good casting for stuff and things I'm excited to see. Mahershala Ali has spoken out saying that he's been frustrated with the process so far, the production of making Marvel's new Blade reboot.
I don't.
Do you know who that is?
I know who he is. I know his face.
Oh, okay.
But I don't really know much about Blade. So
they're good. They're good. Like
I know who Blade is. I just don't know much about the story of Blade.
Yeah, he's originally in canon I think he's British. But so already huge departure.
Right.
Maybe he'll be British in the new one though, I don't fucking know. But those Blade movies, the Blade trilogy or whatever, the first three that came out like back in the 90s or early 2000s or whatever. The first one, quite good. The second one, you can tell they're like kind of struggling to keep up. And that third one, they're just like cash grab.
Just trying to make some money.
There's some ridiculous stuff in that third one, like where there was a scene where Wesley Snipes refused to open his eyes during a scene, and they CGI'd his eyes open, and it looks really bad. It looks really bad.
Just open your eyes.
So
Can I give you $10,000 more?
The things that are wrong with those original Blade movies isn't that they're bad movies. It's just Wesley Snipes. Because
they were saying he's difficult to work with.
He was a nightmare to work with during the production of this stuff.
Oh, top most difficult celebrities to work with, and he's on that list.
So Blade, canon style, he's a daywalker. He like has all of the vampires' bonuses, but also he can go out in sunlight, and he doesn't have to drink human blood because he uses a serum, and he's got some sidekicks.
Okay,
and that he's just a vampire hunter because a vampire bit his mother when she was pregnant, and then she had the baby, and then she turned into a vampire, and they had to stake her.
Well, if they do it right, that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That sounds really cool.
And Mahershala Ali's great casting. Like, if you had to replace Wesley Snipes, because in my head, if somebody says Blade, I imagine Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, you do that.
But Mahershala Ali, he's got the look for it, for sure.
Throw some shades.
I hope if anything, so in classic fashion of things that I really want to see get made, the director left. Bassam Tariq was the director tied to it, and like 2 months before they started filming, he just bailed. And they're still going to have him attached as like an executive producer, but the vibe here for all this, like what's kind of been going on there, is that Kevin Feige, like, is he so distracted because he's got his hands in so many pots kind of thing? You know what I mean? Because they're trying to get him to do all of it. Is he spread too thin enough to not give all of his attention to one thing at a time?
Probably so. He's
because
human. Yeah.
Mahershala Ali was like, this script is bullshit. This is going to be stupid. This is not the movie anybody wants to see. And that's the guy who's going to play your protagonist.
You probably listen to him.
I wouldn't always say that. I wouldn't always say that the actor knows best, but that's a pretty heavy, like, hey, maybe let's not do this.
You should at least listen to them.
Right,
like
take it into consideration.
Yeah.
So he left, and Blade got Beau DeMayo, and he is going to rewrite the entire script from page 1.
I don't know who Beau DeMayo is.
Beau DeMayo, let's see what else he's done. More notably, he is one of the writers on The Witcher, which is a great. He's worked on some Star Trek stuff as well, and looks like maybe he worked on Moon Knight.
Okay,
probably a good guy to do it.
Yeah, not huge, but like getting huge, going to be a big name.
Yeah, I was thinking that if this delays this, I would rather them push it back on the release schedule and push all of it back. Just stop making movies for another year. Just quit. You don't have to. You don't have to keep pumping them out. Because everybody that goes to watch them would rather they be spectacular.
That's like Deadpool being announced. You're like, oh, fuck yeah. And then you're like, it's 2 years, but I'm going to still wait and watch it. So...
That Love and Thunder, we watched Love and Thunder. I like Love and Thunder, but I can tell that they just shit it out as fast as they possibly could. 6
months, another year.
I would have waited another year for it. I just would have been more hyped.
We literally, like when Endgame was released, it was almost 3 years or whatever when they released it.
What they should have done was just quit after Endgame and be like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe will return.
Had riots.
And then be like, 2025. You know what I mean? Just be like, we'll return, but you're not getting anything until 2025. Everybody's just...
We did have, obviously, COVID and all that other shit. Like,
so
that obviously paused production. And I know they wanted to push things out because fans wanted it. Yeah. But they should have just been like, all right, go to sleep. Like,
have integrity for the product, you know? So I mean, hopefully Blade turns out great because I really would like to see it great. We might watch Blade after this. It's quite good. I'm being honest with you. The vampires are pretty cool, and when he kills them, I think it still holds up pretty well.
We're not gonna.
You know, I love a release schedule.
Yeah,
Alicia.
me too.
You know, I love it.
schedule.
I love an itinerary. On last week's episode, we did cover the October release schedule for Netflix. So let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on Hulu for
Netflix
October.
had a lot of stuff.
So we got Hellraiser. Obviously, I think a lot of people are pretty pumped for that. Looper. These are just new things you can see on Hulu, not new things. I'm aware that Looper is an older film. The Sixth Sense, Sinister 2, the original Blade trilogy. Well, if we didn't already own it on DVD. Wes Anderson's newest one, The French Dispatch, which I have not seen yet, but am looking forward to. Crimes of the Future, that Cronenberg. Remember I rented that and it took me like 4 days to fucking watch it? Oh my God, I just kept falling asleep. But I'm glad I stuck through. It was a really good flick. I liked it a lot. Rocky Horror Picture Show, The Wheel, ABCs of Death 1 and 2, About Time, The Abyss, After Midnight, The Age of Innocence, Aliens in the Attic, Bleh. All My Puny Sorrow, America's Sweethearts, American Ultra, As Above, So Below, Bad Milo, Beer Fest, Beyond JFK, and it was about this time that I realized that this list was in alphabetical order and was in fact fucking humongous. So...
It's a new month.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
Like,
well, it's a lot.
It's
a lot
it's
of
Halloween.
shit. So
it's the Ween.
What I'm gonna do in my notes here, I have included a link, and I'm just gonna copy and paste this motherfucker into the show notes for this episode. So if you want to see the entire new release Hulu link, there it is. So Community, the long-running sitcom that I don't know if you've ever watched.
Yeah, I watched some of it.
You watched some of it with me?
I watched some of it.
I just decided one day to binge it. I was like, all these nerds are into it. I'll fucking check it out. Yeah, because I am a nerd. And I like Dan Harmon's writing. Mm-hmm. And I decided to sit down and check out the show. And I liked it enough to finish it. And it's hard to do a good sitcom. It's hard because a lot of sitcoms
there's so many of them, and they
the
only
best
have,
ones. The best ones were the ones that broke the mold. Like they were kind of a sitcom, but something else.
That's what they first started making, so that's why it's hard to beat them. Because
so inside joke for Community, they have always said 6 seasons in a movie, and they went to 6 seasons, and the show was canceled, and they never got a movie. They are officially getting their movie. So, some of the...
they're going to intro with that?
But
a movie.
Maybe.
That's it.
It's probably
That's the name of the movie?
It's probably just called And a Movie.
Right.
But they've got most of the cast to return. Missing from the list to be confirmed so far are Yvette Nicole Brown, who played Shirley Bennett, and most notably Donald Glover, who played Troy Barnes.
I like him.
Troy, in the series, they kind of effectively wrote him out of it because his career was starting to blow up and he didn't have time to still work on Community, really. So they wrote his character out of the series. You know what I mean? So, they wrote him leaving and going away to a different thing or whatever.
Which makes sense because he did blow up.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, Joel McHale has done really well off of it, too. So he's actually going to be an executive producer on it. And now, whether or not it will be good, I have no idea. I would assume Dan Harmon's writing it or doing most of the writing for it, or at least some of it. Or it wouldn't be
a movie.
That there's there's 1 or 2 seasons of Community that Dan Harmon didn't write, and they're just not very good.
You can tell.
You could tell it was a different writer.
Yeah.
It was just the tones.
Yeah, well, and his humor and his he's a little dry.
He's a weird guy. He loves that.
He's weird. He's a little dry.
He loves that Rick and Morty,
Well, yeah, I guess that's not dry, but...
He loves that Rick and Morty out in space. Speaking of space, Alicia, Star Trek, they were going to make a sequel. They were going to make a sequel film that was slated through Paramount Films that has now been canned. I know there's a lot of love out there for Star Trek. I was never really... Although I did like that first reboot movie that they did with Chris Pine, I didn't like Chris Pine as Kirk.
The only reason I watch it is because Chris Pine. So, because, he's Chris Pine. It's like Chris Hemsworth. All the Chris's.
Yeah.
Don't matter.
All those Hollywood Chris's.
Watch them all. But, yeah, so that's the only reason. And it was okay. But it's just, I don't know, not very exciting.
Yeah, I like
boring.
Chris Pine in it. I just don't like him as Kirk. And a lot of people think he's like a dead ringer. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Something about it just doesn't work for me.
The whole thing's kind of...
But, I hope they put that back on the books and rework it however they're going to do it. Because I love a space epic. Like, I would love to watch a new Star Trek thing in it to ignite a passion for... Checking the old one
because you could make it badass.
Yeah.
You can make it so good, but most of those are so, I don't know. They're just so boring. They're just...
Speaking of so boring, Alicia, Rob Zombie wasn't allowed to shoot the Munsters in black and white, so he made it as hyper surreal as possible. Munsters. Can you believe it?
I cannot.
Do you want to watch the Munsters?
I would actually love to watch the Munsters.
Would you really? I fucking really thought that you would.
I would love to watch the Munsters because I always think of it as what's the other show?
The Addams Family?
Yes. But I always liked the Munsters better.
Yeah.
I did. I don't know. They were just like a little more
goofier,
friendly,
slapsticky.
Goofy. And not so much friendly. I guess
they're
you don't
warmer.
have to.
They're warmer characters for sure.
It's not so much they have to be warmer characters. I just find they're just like silly. Like, I don't know. They're sillier characters too.
I always thought that and I watched both of them a lot, but I always thought to myself that the Munsters were like low rent Addams Family.
Right, but they're not. They're comedy.
They're different.
They're just comedy Addams Family.
Yeah, they're very different.
They're just... They have,
Well, Addams Family is comedy. It's like more slapsticky.
It's like dry.
Okay, like the show Baskets with Zach Galifianakis. Okay. That show is a comedy.
Right.
But so is Ren and Stimpy. They're very different. They're very different things, but they're both comedy. So I think it's like maybe something to that effect. But I don't have high hopes for it because
anyone playing in it that you know?
There are some notable cast members in it, but it's directed by Rob Zombie, and he has famously fumbled a couple of things that I was really looking forward to.
You know what, though? Maybe it's a home run.
Maybe.
It could be. Here. You never know.
It's got Rob Zombie's wife as a Lily Munster. Jeff Daniel Phillips plays Herman. Cassandra Peterson, you've seen her in a couple of things. She plays Barbara Carr. Daniel Roebuck plays Grandpa. I've seen him in stuff before. Okay, here's the two that you might actually know who they are. George Garcia, although I know you don't know the name. Do you? Do you know who George Garcia is?
I'm pretty sure.
He was on Lost.
Okay.
He's the really heavy set guy with the long curly hair.
Okay.
Yep, that's George Garcia. He is in it. He plays Floop.
Okay.
And Richard Brake, who plays like Rorschach in the Watchmen movie.
Mm-mm.
He plays Freddy Krueger in the newest remake.
Okay.
He plays Dr. Henry Augustine. And other than that, it's a bunch of people you've not seen from anything. And also Rob Zombie's wife.
It could be good. It's probably not.
It could be good. Maybe it's comedy gold.
Watch it just because.
Maybe it's comedy gold.
It would be nice if someone else picked it up.
I would have loved to seen Guillermo del Toro get a Munsters.
You know, what'd be cool too is do that and then just like put that like he does in a lot of his movies, like the sepia tones over it instead. I don't know. That'd be neat to look at for a Munsters. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Because he could. I don't know. He can make it a little more drag, like more
slow burning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the Munsters.
He would make it really creepy. I think he would do like a stop motion
because
animated.
It could be more of a horror type of film or a thriller horror.
Or this isn't a thing I go for, but I bet you fucking Tim Burton would nail the Munsters. It would just be stop motion animation, like little claymation figures, and it'd be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but not have to be hilarious.
And creepy, I don't know.
You know, it was a show, it can be a movie, and it could totally change, so.
You know what else was a show? The Daily Show. With Trevor Noah.
Literal in the name.
Yeah, so Trevor Noah is going to be leaving The Daily Show.
Oh, I love him.
I do too, yeah. I like Trevor Noah. I think he's really funny. I like him as a friend.
He's just he's genuine man. He's just a good guy.
Well, he had fucking big shoes to fill.
He did,
Like,
and I think he filled them well for
he's got to
generations.
fill in for Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart is the greatest sit-down comic ever.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
he's
the
just
goat.
fucking
Yeah,
hilarious.
he's the goat of
He
comedy
really is.
of those night shows, especially.
Way to follow it up with just a strong performance. Yeah, big shoes. And even before Stewart, fucking Craig Kilborn. I mean, I give him 50-50 for Craig Kilborn.
Not that old, but okay, I take your word for it.
Fucking sick burn. Well, I watched him in a documentary one time. That's the only reason I know who he is.
I'm just joking.
Whatever, get off my back. No, like Craig Kilborn was funny, but he had a much more smug attitude about him. That was just the character
like
that
Colbert.
he played. Exactly, like
Right.
but thicker.
Ooh.
More smug, kind of an
'Cause,
asshole.
Like, Colbert's like likable, smug.
He's likable smug. Yeah, this guy was less likable smug, but his jokes were good. Like, he was very funny. He just wasn't likable. And then you get Jon Stewart, the most likable dude
Right.
in the world. He's like Paul Rudd, but funnier. If you can even imagine that.
That's perfect.
But
That's perfect.
yeah, he's like a newsroom Paul Rudd.
Mm-hmm.
So Jon Stewart just killing it, and then Trevor Noah, man, he really did it. He made it his own, and he turned this TV show that was just a show that became an institution, and kept it fucking top tier. So no word about who's going to be replacing Trevor Noah.
That's what I was going to ask.
There's some buzz about him, like maybe transitioning to late night, like any late night show.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully he's on to new and exciting things, man. I really like Trevor Noah. I would love to continue to see him in stuff. I'm curious why he would just be like, nah, I'm going to leave The Daily Show. He's probably gotten just about as famous as he can get.
Or stress.
I don't know if it's either of those things. I think it's probably to pursue a more...
Or
maybe pursue
dreams?
a more diverse career, maybe? I don't know. But curious what's up. I'm like, I hope to report on that again in the future. I want to do a little math talk, though, because I got some cool stats.
Math.
And I just wanted to share these. I'm not doing any math. Someone else did math, and I'm just going to talk about it for a bit. So, early box office reports that Paramount's Smile actually leads the box office. This is via Thursday with 2 million, while the highly projected Bros film comes in right around $500,000, which is some random box office trivia, but I did catch a trailer for both of these. And as a guy who's just not into rom-coms, I probably won't watch Bros unless you just want to watch it.
Well, honestly, the reason it probably... Are you saying 500, whatever that is, low?
500,000, well,
is that low?
A random scary movie that actually does look pretty good is beating out this.
I've heard about it, and I know what it is. I'm asking if that amount is low. Like... Is that what you're saying?
It's not low. It was projected to be much higher than it is coming in, which because it's LGBTQ positive rom-com. I'm just not a rom-com guy unless it's a satire.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is that most likely is just because of that, which is ridiculous.
Yeah,
but
I mean, if you wanted to watch it, I would check it out. I don't give a shit. This shit it doesn't certainly doesn't bother me or make me uncomfortable. It can absolutely be fucking hilarious and enriching and sweet and romantic. But that other trailer for that Smile movie looks pretty fucking twisted also.
Probably will watch both of them.
So maybe it's just a testament to how good it is. Maybe it's just a really fucking good movie. I don't know.
The only reason I want to watch it, I haven't even watched a trailer for it. I heard a verbal explanation of the movie. And I want to watch it because I just know that smile, and it creeps me out.
It's creepy, yeah.
Regardless if I've seen the movie, regardless if that's all they had to say.
Yeah, it's like Pyle from Full Metal Jacket. That creepy ass fucking grin he's got on his face.
Well,
I know this is an audio.
Everyone knows that grin too. Everyone knows a smile. It's just everyone has the experience of it making them uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that's going to be creepy.
So, but that Bros has got really good reviews. It's coming out of the gate with really good reviews.
Yeah, no,
so
I saw that too.
I'm
I didn't watch
to
the
see how
trailer,
that...
nothing on that either, but I would also like to watch that.
I think we watched a trailer for that together.
Probably.
It was in another movie we watched.
I never remember.
It's like two gay guys, and one gay guy's like a jock, and the other one's like, he's like, oh, I'm a nerd or whatever, and they get together. They have it's a rom-com. It'd be exciting to see who turns out in the box office, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, hey, this
sure.
unpredicted thing happened, but also other unpredicted things that happened. This past September, so this month, was the worst September in 26 years, excluding 2020, for the box office in cinema history.
And they took out 2020?
Yeah, right. Domestic ticket sales are projected to come in at the end of September at $328 million for this month. Now, while that does sound like a lot,
no,
it's the shittiest September for the box office since September of 1996.
That's nothing considering...
Which ended at $326.7 million.
I was like, yeah.
So slightly less.
Yeah, but that's nothing considering one Marvel movie will make a fucking $1 billion.
Right.
In a week. Or in, you know what I mean? Whatever it is. They make a shitload of money. Like, so what? Like, that's, yeah, $500 million. Not that much, actually.
Right, yeah, as far as that stuff's concerned.
People should definitely
You know what I bet Hollywood thinks that will make $500 million is an American Pie reboot. That's right.
It would make 20.
That's right.
It might make $20.
You'll watch it,
No.
listener. You hear me? Because that's why they're making it. If you want to know why, it's because fuck you, you'll watch it.
It's because you want to see Stifler's mom.
Oh.
Right.
Who are they going to get for Stifler's mom? Is it even going to be a Stifler?
It'll be
it's
her.
It's going to be that kind of reboot?
I bet you.
You think so?
I will place money now. Fucking $10. I guarantee you it's her. And she's got more plastic surgery and more Botox and bigger boobs.
And bigger tits.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Fucking bigger tits and bigger hair, maybe, because it's a reboot. And we're going back to the 80s, apparently, when our 80s and 90s. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you she takes her role.
That's crazy that they're going to remake another one of those.
That's weird. For what? What are they going to do this time?
I don't think it's going to be a continuation, like how they were all like branches of the same story. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be like a reboot of the first one. I don't why though? Because that movie already exists. Like it's dated and it's weird and horny and very 90s, but it's already out there.
And I watch 2000s. It's one of those movies you watch one time and it's like, oh, okay.
I get it.
You're right.
Yeah.
And then you watch the next one and you're like, oh, shit. It's the same.
It's just the same jokes, too. Like,
yeah.
It's the same jokes. Like,
but
remember,
it can be the same jokes, but they're just not funny jokes. you know, so.
Yeah. Like me. That's what I do. I just, recycle that material, baby.
Yeah, but it's funny.
And that's also the news. Thank you very much for listening, telling a friend, leaving a like or a lovely comment. Those things are very helpful. If you do like this show, we hope you check out the Parent Podcast. It's just 2 movies where we watch a good movie and then a bad movie and then do an extensive breakdown of both. That is all I've got for the news this week. I have been Daniel King.
I'm Alicia.
And that's the news. Good evening.
That's just grossly inappropriate.
Come on, Ed, it's bullcrap!
The saucy line will not get you far with me.
It's not the Messiah! It's a very naughty boy! Stop being such a dick!
No, it's not schizophrenia. It's just a voice in my head.
Your love of the halfling's leap has clearly slowed your mind.
Good speech. Nice and short. Leaves more time for drinking. Break out the ale! These men are thirsty!
The Hollywood Thumb is brought to you by It's Just 2 Movies and is a production of Blue Cheese and Bacon Studios. Both can be found wherever you get your podcasts.